Okay, so on my desk here, for one, I have a dust cover. But as some of you may have guessed, under that cover there is a typewriter. It is very similar to one that I've been working on, but it is a different machine. So that machine is this. This is my 1968 Adler Universal 20. It is extremely similar to the Universal 39, also made in the same year. It's basically the same machine. I have a Universal 39 in my cupboard there. The only differences are this one does not have the character double spacing or single spacing option, which is 2 buttons, label 1 and 2. And it also doesn't have the paper injector lever up here. But aside from that, it is basically the same machine. So basically you've got up the top, you got your paper support, which comes out, and I believe you can use this as like an end of page indicator. Then you've got your margins, which are just push and slide as you would expect. So yeah, both of them work pretty fine. Then you've got your paper guide, just moves along like that. A little bit tight, but I prefer it to be a bit stiff rather than loose. You've got carriage releases on either side, so as normal, just push them in, and that allows you to move the carriage around. Then over here you've got your line spacing ratchet release. So when this is not engaged, it clicks through the lines. You can do this one, and then it rolls freely. Then you've got your line spacing, so you've got 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. Pretty standard. That's pretty much all there is on the carriage. Then you've got a paper bale with a bit of a scale, and these rollers, which I quite like. They're like little wheels. On the front, you've got your ribbon color selector, which is these buttons. So you've got on standard ribbons, you've got black, red, or stencil, which is in the middle, which doesn't list as a ribbon vibrator. I'm using this just with a black ribbon because I just prefer black ribbons. And I already have one spooled onto the correct spools because I got one with the Universal 39, which is still very nice and dark. So the top just pulls off like that. It's got these little spikes that go into here, which have like little springs, pretty standard for typewriters of this time. This body, I believe it's just all pretty much metal. This piece here, this piece here is metal, except this front logo layer is like a layer of plastic. You can see the 2 layers, so that could get a bit dinted, or not dinted, but you know what I mean, not quite as strong as metal, but it also won't chip paint. So with the top cover off, you can see the tension, key tension setting, so plus and minus, pretty standard. It just changes the amount of tension that's required to press the keys, and it definitely does make a difference. In here you've got your ribbons. It's a really easy machine to put a new ribbon on. You've got these little spring-loaded arms. You have to pull them out, you pull the spool off. Then you've got the little forks, which I believe is for the auto reverse, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And then through this ribbon lift or ribbon vibrator, it's really easy. It's you just chuck it in the back, then under these little hooks, and then you're good to go. The ribbon reverse is this long little wire here, just flicks back and forth like that. So very simple. I'll flick that one back there. Then you've got this nice big card guide. It sits very close to the platen, which is good, so you can roll a piece of paper in and you don't have to lift the paper bale or anything. It just shoots straight in. I believe that's all there is for features. I'll quickly show you how the carriage comes off, and so you can have a look at what's under there. So I've already been through this on my channel with these Universal Adlers. You just have 2 thumb screws there and there. And so to take the carriage off, you just loosen these So they'll go loose pretty quick, and then just give them a couple more little goes, because they basically screw in and hit like a little thing on each side that holds the carriage in place, like a little rod thing. And the carriage just lifts straight off like that. This is a very heavy carriage, so don't drop it. So under the carriage, it allows you to see the escapement mechanism. That's where the big carriage strap or drawband wheel goes in, and you can also see a tabulator mechanism. The escapement mechanism, I haven't taken any of this apart because I would stuff it up and I would not know how to put it back together. But there you go, you can have a bit of a look. I've done a fair bit of cleaning on this machine. I haven't taken anything much off. I've taken all the body off, but haven't actually been able to get right down in there. But for what I'm using it for, it's not a professional restoration. I try to get them as like new as possible, but that's not really possible. Besides, this machine was in as close to like new position as any of these Universals will be that you'll be able to get. So I'll chuck the carriage back on, and then I'll give you a bit of a type test. So chucking the carriage back on, as I've gone through my Universal 39, if you've seen that video. Just chuck it back on like that. You've got to watch the tab set, the little plus, and then just check it's in the right spot, which it is. And you just tighten these back up. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, as you'd expect. Before I do a type test, I thought I'd show you, for those that are interested, the keyboard. So very standard keyboard. It's got the backspace up on the top right, which is my favourite position for it. It has got a number 1, but it's got a little asterisk thing there. I'm not exactly sure how that's pronounced, but so it has that, but it doesn't have an exclamation mark. So doing an exclamation mark, it's still the apostrophe and period. It has a lot of fractions, this machine, and quite weird ones. It's got half, 3/4, 1/4, 1/3, 2/3, 1/8, and 3/8. I put this machine up on Reddit, and one person in particular was very curious about the amount of fractions this has, and I'm not sure if maybe it was special ordered or whatever. I bought this off of an old Italian couple in Melbourne. And yeah, so it seems like someone's just left it sitting dormant for years, I guess. I mean, it had a lot of build up and stuff, and it looked like someone might have used oil on it at some point, which is always a shame, but I cleaned that up pretty nice. I also went through and cleaned these type slugs, but they're a little bit dirty again because I have been using this. This is my pride and joy at the moment. This is my main machine. And I've also cleaned out the segment so that it shouldn't be sticking or anything anymore. I might have a couple of slightly slow keys, but so that just snaps back on, as I showed you, the little spikes. So yeah, I think we should load some paper and then I'll show you how it prints. At the moment. So I thought I'd show you how this machine types. So it's pretty simple, just feed the paper in as normal, and you'll see that just the precision of how this is made. Much like people always talk about with the Hermes 3000, but I don't hear them talk about it as much with typewriters such as this. So you just chuck that paper in the back there. Now this won't probably feed in straight because I'm kind of a bit crooked, but then you can see it feeds straight up under the paper bale. And then, so you've got your pressure release as you saw on the right hand side of the carriage. Just flick that forward to release the pressure on the feed rollers. And then, yeah, I'll show you how this machine works. So I think I've got it working almost flawlessly. So I'll start off with all lowercase. Now do the uppercase. I'll do a quick alignment test, so you can see I've fixed up the alignment. And then I'll show you that in a sentence. I won't write out the whole sentence. Okay, so this is the move my little makeshift camera rig. Okay, so this is how it prints. So you can see very nice crisp pica font. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this looks. Obviously you can kind of see the fibers of the ribbon, but that's pretty much to be expected. That happens on most machines, and I don't think it's a knock on this machine. Is maybe the ribbon or just me not servicing it right without my experience. But this is the alignment. As you can see, I'd say it's pretty much perfect. It wasn't perfect. The capitals were sitting about halfway up the lowercase when I first got it, and then for a while I had it adjusted slightly low, but just last night I went in and fixed it up all good. And then I did a few numbers. I didn't do all of the symbols. I just thought I'd show. Oh, way out of focus. Okay, as I was trying to say, I did a few of the numbers and just whatever's, just so you could see how that all looks. But it's just such a clear, crisp type. That's my 1968 Adler Universal 20. You know, you often hear people saying, "Oh, this is another typewriter you want to write, the next great novel on." This is one that you would. This is a novel writing machine, I think. It's comfortable. It's the key touches. I can't describe it as light exactly. I think I've got it on the lightest setting. Yeah, I do. Oh, I can't exactly describe it as light. I'd say it's just more comfortable and smooth. Like, I could type at this thing all day. And, I'm using barely any pressure. Like, I'd use way more when I'm actually typing. And, yeah, it's not perfect. But you can see it still prints pretty perfect without much pressure. It's just comfortable. I don't feel like I need to, peck at the keys or whatever. I can just hold in my hands and it prints perfect. So I guess this would be a good carbon copy machine if we were living in a different time. So anyways, ramble over. That's my Adler Universal 20. Thanks for watching, and I'll make another video soon.